How's it going, everyone? Today we have, uh, what is this? This is a PE225. However, it could also be exactly the same as a SRM225, which is a weed eater. And this is a, alright, what's the word I'm thinking for? Edger. There we go. This individual, quick story, decided that he needed to take two pieces of equipment to a shop. One was a concrete cutter, steel, of course, and decided that it needed a new, let's see here. First was a carburetor, then they told him they needed a new engine, then they told him they needed a new bearing in the engine, which seems weird to me because if they're buying everything, that should just be included, but whatever. Maybe engines, piston, and cylinder. Don't know. That is no longer working. This is no longer working. They told him that this actually is no good, and they are going to be repairing it. And even if they did, they said they call the next closest shop, and that they would do it for $229. And basically, it'll start very hard. It will take 10-12 pulls, but it will start. However, it will not rev up. What I've done to it is as follows. I looked at the exhaust. It's not plugged whatsoever. So that would be my first quote. And the next one, we're going to do this together. So let's do that together, shall we? We'll be a family. Let's take a look at the filter. Oh, here we go. I mean, it could be worse. It could be better. It could be worse. So I don't think that's a problem. So I told him this. He gave it to me, and I told him I believe it's going to be a carburetor, which I still believe it is. So I asked him two options. One, I think I know where the 229 is coming from. I looked up the price for the OEM carb. It's like $60. Plus, I'm sure it's like $150 minimum or something like that. So there we go. He's like, I just need it to run. So I gave him the option of doing this. This is just a carb, got off Amazon. Fits an Echo SRM225, which yet again is exactly the same, more or less, as this. It comes with all the goodies, some of which we won't need, but it comes with the goodies. In addition to the main event. Oh, they even have the little plug in there. That's good. That's annoying. So, let's take it apart. That wasn't even tight. That was. I also gave him the option to potentially just clean the carb. He decided just to opt to get a new one. Let's go ahead and do this. There is fuel in this. It is good fuel. It's fuel I put in there. When I got it, it had almost nothing. So when I tested it out, I put some fuel in it. So I know it's not fuel related. Okay, we're going to be that way. So for the carburetor, super easy. All we need to do is maybe lighten you up a little bit. So we can see, there we go. Pull this back, take out your nail or a screwdriver if you don't have a nail, like myself. And that's it. Oh, no. This is that annoying one where you have to pull the whole thing off. And now that we have the 10mm, we loosen this up. Should just come right out. And we're gonna hope that this one is the same. It looks like it is. Okay, good. Sometimes they're not. And it's not the end of the world. It's also not a good thing. We don't care about these fuel lines. We're just gonna take them off however we can. Just in case, we're going to open the tank a little bit. If it was going to spew out, I should have done it already, but you never know. Granted, we are working on Echo, so we're already in a better standing. There we go. Is there not even a fear filter in there? Rookie through the hole. I don't see one, but it doesn't mean there isn't one. What I'll do is we will just go ahead and install it, and if I hear a rattling, we'll take it out. Or, yeah, I'll just take it out after I'm done. Assuming there is one, have a new one. Now, go ahead and push that in. We need to remember this is the return line, and the other black one is the fuel line, or the pickup. I guess they're all technically fuel lines except for that one. You might need to take out one. Just because this is a fairly tight fit. I don't want to ruin anything. Yeah, we'll just take out those. If given the option, this type of line is a lot stiffer, so it's a lot easier to install. The black line is not. And yes, I know the name for it. Not everyone owns a shop and knows the name. There we go. To make it a little bit easier on ourselves, we're going to do two things. We're going to take some marginally sharp cutters. We're going to cut like a little angle on it. Cool. Spring is upon me. Allergies are rough. Old WD-40. Old WD-40 doesn't need a whole lot, just what's ever left. Don't want to go on dry. There we go. Shoved it in. And now we get to work on the carburetor. Now this, there is like a little circular cutout, and the other side it's just a slot. The slot goes on the side with the cable, and we're just going to put it on like so, and we tighten it up. Now there should be a little bit of slack, not a whole lot, because if there's no slack at all, then this adjustment, it's just pretty. That's about it. There's really no use for it. Kind of like, never mind. I can go there. So, now, I prefer to put the fuel lines on the last, or at least after this. Maybe not all the way last. Let's see what gaskets they gave us. I prefer to use the gasket it came with, just because this is an aftermarket carb. And the gasket's not ripped. Then there's this one. This one doesn't look like it really matters how it goes on. Sometimes that little hole is important. In this case, we don't have to worry about it. And shove that on there with the gasket on the screws already. And insert tab into slot. Realize you can't see. Go in anyway. Reevaluate. Realize this throttle linkage is really not wanting you to succeed today? If you want to torque this spec, you can. We're doing the good and tight spec today. Now, for the fuel lines, you don't want like a horrendous amount of fuel line. That just would be bad. You have too much fuel line, then it's just going to kind of crimp. So we're going to kind of look at the top. We're going to go, boop. That one is ready. Same thing with this one. This one, we could probably just get away with not doing anything, to be honest. It'll have a little bend to it. I'm told by the doctor that's completely normal. Oh yeah. Get that nastiness off there. Shove that on there. Here we are. Boom. Now there is a little home for this little vent. So I think it's right here. Maybe not. I thought it was right there. It should be right there. Except that very well might need a pruning too. So I'm going to just cut that shorter and put it in this little home, and then let's tighten this down. I'm gonna put the air filter on, and then we'll be back. Now, before we do anything, I'm actually going to tighten that up a little bit so it's not going to be leaking, and then the best way to make sure we put them on correctly is there we go. Sorry, I get worried there for a second. Now, if this was in the other style of carb, you just put your finger on it and see which one sucks, which one blows. And that's it. Well, got it done. We have a very small screwdriver here, just in case. This is an on and off switch that isn't, you actually need to swipe, and not a low and Terry switch, or is that the word I'm thinking of? You know what I mean. Here to have crime it a few more times. There we go. Making sure the blade's not going to touch anything. Okay. Actually, I'm going to check to see if the blade is even spinning. Let's make sure of that. No, it is. No worries on that one. Or the head, whatever you have. Well, hopefully you have a head, but okay. Well, we are done. So, on the old carb, we'll take a look at something. Little bonus for people who are still paying attention. So right here, you can see that there's a little gold piece. Now usually there's a little plug in there you have to take out. Real pain, but it's not impossible. Just take it out. I usually use like a really small screwdriver, the same way I used to even do any of the adjustments. In addition to that, there's also usually a plug right here. There's a little adjustment right there. This is going to be your main adjustment. This is primarily just going to be for idle. It was idling just fine, not going to worry about it. You almost always just have to adjust this. Tighten it, it leans it out. If you loosen it, it richens it up. How you know which one is which? Well, that's easy. If it's rich, it's blowing out blue smoke, and it's too rich, and it's probably not running very well. If it's not running very well, but there's little or no smoke, probably too lean, and then you need to richen it up. So, I usually err on the side of richening first, because rich, it will still run. Lean, not so much. So, now we have that done. It works. So, I'm going to use it a little bit, do some fine tuning. Like I said, little tiny screwdriver. I get them on Amazon. You can get them at the store to sell stuff for like eyeglasses, stuff like that. And that's it. So, instead of paying $229, I forget how much this was, like 22 bucks or something like that. Used to be a lot cheaper, but get out here, fly. But now it's not. And I don't know, if I wasn't recording 10 minutes of work, and I did look inside the fuel tank when I was putting everything back, there's nothing. So it didn't have a fuel filter on there anyway, but it was still priming, so I don't believe that was the problem. Because if that was the problem, it wouldn't have primed. But I suppose it could have. But at least now the fuel that was in there was pretty nasty to begin with, so it's just better that we have everything brand new. I'm gonna go ahead and leave you at that. If you like to see, keep watching, subscribe, leave a comment. Definitely leave a thumbs up. It helped you out. It helps me out. I'll catch you on the next one. You have a good night.